Brought to you by Hug House Productions.
On March 27th, 2024, Elon Musk was deposed in a libel lawsuit filed by Ben Brody, a 22-year-old Jewish political science major at the University of California. When Elon Musk quote that Ben Brody could be a neo-Nazi undercover federal agent in a, quote, false flag situation, Ben Brody was faced with so much harassment, he and his family had to leave their homes. Musk and his lawyer, Alex Spiro, attempted to retroactively make the deposition confidential. But it wasn't. Welcome to The Deposition, a dramatic reading of the public record transcript of Elon Musk's deposition in full. We promise. This is really real, a real thing that happened in a real lawsuit that exists in real life, word for word, with the addition of some actor editorialization. I don't think you'll blame us once you've listened. You can find the official court transcript, the transcript for this episode, and more in the show notes of this episode and at hughouse.productions. Enjoy the deposition. The Deposition is brought to you by another podcast we think you're going to love, Beef with Bridget Todd. You might know Bridget Todd from her other podcast, There Are No Girls on the Internet, or for being brilliant and funny, and my hero. Beef is such a delicious concept for a podcast. It's all about beefs between petty, famous bitches. Personally, I recommend starting with the episode on Yves Saint Laurent and Karl Lagerfeld, as someone who loves weird artists and is glad that Karl Lagerfeld is dead. Here's the trailer for Beef, and as always, link in the show notes.
The golden rule says you should treat others the way you want to be treated. But an unfortunate truth is that idea doesn't account for the driving power of wanting to prove someone wrong or get even. But that's the beauty of Beef. It's funny, it's dark, it's humanity in a nutshell. And it's a triple gold signal award-winning show from Next Chapter Podcasts. I'm Bridget Todd. Join me as I serve up the juiciest rivalries you've never heard of. Listen to Beef wherever you get your podcasts.
Madam Court Reporter, can you let me know where we are on time? Or videographer?
Yes, you're at 1 hour and 20 minutes exactly.
All right, so one thing I want to talk to you about is that we had mentioned before these tweets from Dr. Frenzer and Matt Wallace 888. Do you remember talking about those?
Yes.
Okay. I know that we're not sure, I know that you don't have any knowledge sitting here today, whether or not you saw additional tweets from these people, whether you saw their profiles. So I know that's not something you have personal knowledge of today. But what I wanted to do, well, first, let me start this way. When you click a user's profile, a timeline comes up and it loads the first several tweets that they have on their page, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you can either scroll down and you can just keep going on their tweets, right?
Yes.
Okay, but when you first load it up, it just loads the first several from, the past several that they've had, right?
The most recent, yes.
In chronologic order, right? Okay. So what I want to do is, I want to show you some tweets from that timeline, and you can tell me if you've seen these tweets or not. Does that sound okay? Are we able to do that?
Yeah.
All right. So first, I want to talk about Dr. Frenzer, okay? And so I want to show you the tweets that are on the timeline on the date that you saw the tweet. So can we first bring up tab M? Okay. Mr. Musk, this, as you see, is a tweet from June 25th, 2023 at 12:06 p.m., okay?
Okay.
And here it says at the top, is this meme insensitive to Jewish persons? And then there's a meme of the United Nations logo that says, founded in 1945 to end all wars, the United Nations. The world has been at war ever since. Do you know if you saw this?
I have not seen this.
Okay. Would this have triggered a red flag as to this person's credibility?
Objection to form.
I mean, I think it's a dubious post, but it suggests anti-Semitism.
Correct. So what I'm asking you, though, not whether, I think we all know it reflects anti-Semitism. I'm asking, does this trigger red flags as to this person's reliability?
I would say yes, it probably does.
Let's go ahead and look at tab M.
But if you're suggesting that in order to reply to anyone, you have to scroll through all of their posts, that would make it impossible to use the system.
All right. We're looking now at tab M. We're going to mark this as, I'm sorry, I don't believe we marked that last exhibit. So tab M, the meme we just looked at, that would be exhibit 9, correct?
Correct.
Correct. There we go. So this tab N, we're going to mark as exhibit 10. This is a picture of a Photoshop meme of the president and former First Lady Obama, where it has a shirt that was on Michelle Obama's shirt. It says, "I come in peace." And the Barack Obama t-shirt says, "I'm peace." You would agree with me, this is a joke based on the lie that Michelle Obama is transgender.
I'm not sure I'd read that much into it, but it's clearly this account is not a fan of Barack Obama.
Would you have taken, if you had seen, first of all, have you seen this tweet? Did you see this tweet?
No.
Okay. Would this have triggered a red flag as to this person's reliability?
It would have simply, I think, indicated that they are probably not a supporter of Barack Obama.
Right. But would you think that they're a reasonable person who is reliable? Would that trigger any flags for you?
Well, I think one has to give some allowance for a sense of humor and satire and parody.
Is that what this is to you, or is this just bigotry?
Objection. This has nothing to do with this case. And we're not going to do any more hypothetical. If you had seen these tweets, what would your reaction have been? Or if you had seen this, what would in this hypothetical world? I understand your point, that if he had checked, he could have seen these things. The point has been made. It's clear. We're not doing any more questions on this.
So you're going to instruct him not to answer on something you think the point is clear and is relevant. That's your...
No, I don't think any of this is relevant at all.
Okay. So let's go ahead.
In fact, I know it's not. I know it's not relevant, and I know it's not, and it violates the court order, so no, I let you answer. Ask a couple of questions on it simply because I know that you want to, and I'm not trying to interrupt this and get this over with. But at the same time, you're just harassing him about unrelated things, and you're doing it on purpose, and it has nothing to do with anything.
No, I'm not.
So we're done on that.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and make this record again for the court because, once again, I've been shut down in the relevant topic area. I am facing a situation where I must prove certain facts which may have triggered different duties in this case. One of those is not a subjective analysis of whether the source is reliable, but an objective analysis of the source is reliable. And if that source is unreliable, there is an arguable basis that a defendant will have to exercise greater care, and that could reflect more actual malice if the person purposefully avoided any investigation into the credibility of an unreliable person. I would like to establish, A, whether he has seen these tweets, as though he has already said he does not know and cannot tell me what tweets from these people he has seen. And 2, I would like to establish these people are unreliable. I understand that you're instructing the witness not to answer it, and so I will have to add that to whatever relief we're going to seek from the court. All right, Mr. Musk, let's go ahead and take that down. You would agree with me that even after this suit, you're still promoting the idea that there may be a conspiracy or false flag behind neo-Nazi demonstrators that we're seeing in the streets.
I think we have to consider that is a possibility. Do I think it is likely? No. But do I think it is impossible? I think it's also not impossible.
Okay, let's take a look at tab I. I believe we'll be marking this as exhibit 9.
11 mark.
Wow, we're getting up there. This is exhibit 11. Let's go ahead and scroll out of this so you can see the whole tweet. We might need to be a little more than that. Yeah, we're going to have to go up from top to down. So I want to ask you first, do you remember in January that there was another event, another white supremacist demonstration that involved masked white supremacist protesters? Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that, something like that.
So I want to go down these tweets really quick. We have first embedded in the quote tweet. I'm going to start there with Ian Miles Chong. All right. He says, "What's the deal with these Patriot Front guys' vehicles? Their license plates are completely blank." And then we have an account called Wall Street Silver who quotes that tweet and says, "The fact that the legacy media shows zero curiosity about unmasking these guys tells us 100% these are federal agents or paid stooges of one of the agencies. The media has been instructed by the FBI to just report that Patriot Front exists, white supremacy group, and don't dig any deeper." Let's go ahead and scroll down.
I wouldn't agree with that statement.
The next tweet from Wall Street Silver says, "If Patriot Front was actually a real, organic white supremacy group,
Organic.
Non-GMO white
I was going to
supremacy."
say the same thing. This is the white supremacy that you get at Whole Foods.
Yeah, whole paycheck white supremacy. Locally homegrown.
Free
No
meat.
You say that,
pesticides.
but if I was thinking of a supermarket where I would get white supremacy, Whole Foods
It would be
definitely
Whole
goes-
Foods.
Absolutely, Hofo.
It's absolutely. All right. The next tweet from Wall Street Silver says, "If Patriot Front was actually a real organic white supremacy group, the media would be all over this story to expose every member and ruin their lives. The fact that this is not happening confirms they are feds." Then there's the response to these tweets from you, and it says, "Seems like they should be followed and unmasked. Why doesn't the media or government care about their identities?" Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this, I think, again, is reflecting the concern that you were stating earlier, that you think it is a possibility, though unlikely, that these people could be involved in some sort of false flag.
Oh God, he's about to talk about the FBI.
Everybody, pull up your panties and hold on.
Yep. We can do this.
Yes, and I believe, I mean, the FBI has testified that there have been FBI agents in some of these demonstrations, but he would not speak to the number, which specific demonstrations and how many there were. So the FBI director is on record as saying that there are at least some FBI agents that are embedded in these organizations.
I'm wondering, having you brought that up, are you aware of, sitting here today, actually, let me rephrase that. Were you aware of any information as of June 27th, 2023, similar information that would suggest that it has been confirmed that college students or Antifa members were impersonating white supremacist members?
I don't know confirmed, but I think this is certainly a possibility. I mean, and my post there, I think, is quite reasonable, which is that we should try to find out, we should try to get to the bottom of this, and we should try to figure out who these people are, and if they are neo-Nazis, we should know who they are.
Right.
And there should be greater curiosity about tracking them down and understanding, the role of government here. As I mentioned, the director of the FBI has testified that there have been FBI members in a number of these events, but he will not say, he refused to answer to what degree, how many there were. Was it 1? Was it 1%, 5%, 10%? It's uncertain. So, I think we want to get to the bottom of this, because I think if we get to the bottom of this, we can actually, if it turns out everything, that there aren't any FBI members or other government members, then we can do away with this conspiracy theory. But if there are an unusual number of government members present, then that bears further questioning of why there were, a large number of government employees of one kind or another present at these gatherings.
He's so close. He's so close.
I think before we say things, we should do research to make sure what we're saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
But if we did that, if we did something
how
like
could it
that,
be corrected?
yeah, how could we have community notes, which I believe is the greatest fact-checking system on the planet? on the internet, I would say in the galaxy. There's no evidence to say it's not the strongest in the galaxy.
That's right.
And, we're going to find out because that's, the future is space. SpaceX. We're going, my company.
We're going to go
Just
there.
to make sure that community notes is still the best.
Community notes could beat Thanos, right? Thanos, that's the meme.
That's the meme.
He's funny. I'm popular.
That's the meme.
I know this is just like a voice recording, but I want you to know I'm wearing a leather jacket and a t-shirt.
Fucking impeccable.
I had some just like too tight leather creaking in the background of this.
No. I don't like it. All right. He's so close. All right.
I know.
And if the government and the media were uninterested in finding out who these people were, that would be concerning, wouldn't it?
Yes. It does seem odd that the media would not want to track down who these people are.
Definitely. It seems very odd. Can we bring up tab J? All right. This is going to be exhibit 12. All right. I want to show you another tweet.
Is this another unrelated to the tweet in this case?
It's not unrelated at all. It's not the same.
We're not doing this. He's not answering this question. We're not talking about this. You're exceeding the judge's orders.
You can just give your instruction. All you've got to do is give your instruction. That's all you've got to do.
He's not answering this question.
All right. So here we are.
Asked about every tweet.
I mean, it may make sense.
Mr. Musk, there's not a question posed to you right now.
Okay.
There's no question posed to you right now. I feel like that's the kindest way that Mr. Bankston can say the word shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Okay, but real quick, Mr. Bankston, do you like me? Check Y or N. He gets like a little DM on the...
A Zoom DM.
Are we friends?
The thing from, God, what is it? Mabel Pines with the,
Oh, yeah.
do you like me?
Do
Yes,
you
definitely,
like me?
absolutely.
Yep. That's the one. Okay. There's no question posed to you right now. I'm going to go ahead and make a record on this document because what we are looking at is the exact same type of event that was in this case. A group of Patriot Front white supremacists who have been rounded up and are in masks. The exact MO of the people engaged in this tweet, accusing these people of not being real, of accusing the media of not removing their masks. We have community notes both on the tweet and Mr. Musk's tweet that say their masks actually were removed after arrest. Their names and faces.
Can you blow this up? We can't know what you're making a record of because we can't see it.
Sure. AJ, why don't you...
I can see it.
Mr. Musk can see it and I can see it.
But I'm...
I'm the lawyer.
I'm the eldest boy.
But I'm a lawyer and I can't see it.
Yeah, accurate.
Boo-woo.
Boo-woo. Sweet.
God.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
the lawyer. Elon Musk is paying this guy so much money.
So much money. This man has been paid so much fucking money.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Okay. I don't think I can say this line.
I believe in you.
Yep, there we go.
But I'm the lawyer and I can't see it.
Mr. Musk, there's not any question to you. Go ahead and zoom it in because Mr. Spiro is having some trouble seeing it.
It's just not big enough for me to see it.
And you might want to scroll it over so that he can see it very well.
This is a clear example of community notes, which I
Mr.
believe
Musk,
is
there's not a question.
Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me.
I am going to interrupt you, Mr. Musk, because there's not a question on
You shouldn't interrupt him, Mark.
There's not a question, Alex.
Okay, he's talking, so you shouldn't interrupt him.
But that's not responding. Witnesses cannot just start talking in court.
If you're going to yell, Mark, we're going to cut off the deposition. Mr. Musk, you can continue finishing your...
He actually can't, Alex. He has no question posed to him.
Actually, he can. I told him he can.
All right, so Mr. Spiro has just instructed the witness.
I can't see the date on this. What's the date on this document? I can't see the picture.
Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down.
What is your question?
February 20th, 2024, just like we've been talking about, this event happened in January 2024. Again, I know you're not going to let him answer these questions, so please just let me make my record on this document. I'm asking him about these documents for the reasons stated above, that as we have discussed with the exact same type of event, with the exact same allegations, with Mr. Musk promoting the exact same types of ideas, except we have community notes here showing that their masks were removed and the media were actually interested in their identities. We believe that these tweets and inquiry about them is extremely relevant to the exact type of state of mind when he made the exact type of same statements about the exact same type of event. Obviously, we're being told that we're not going to be able to ask these questions. We do not feel this is proper. We will move on to the next topic.
Ask your question.
No, Mr. Musk, your attorney gets to decide.
No, Mr. Musk wants to answer your question. Ask your question.
Okay. You doing okay over there, buddy?
How are you guys getting through this shit? I'm so impressed.
I have entered the zone.
Yeah, we really just we're in the zone. I was like,
Yeah, y'all got into a fucking
it's
flow
all
state.
over.
Yeah. I'm just here listening to Will lose their fucking mind in the background. And I'm just here I think I need to check in. Fucking wellness check out here.
This broke me.
That's fair.
No, actually, I believe you'll find that who is on second, you see.
Yeah, that's the one.
Just Bankston just being like, what are you people fucking talking about?
He can't just start talking.
That's not how court works.
Well, you see,
works. That's not how
I'm the
depositions
lawyer.
work. This is Texas.
Guys, but I'm the lawyer, guys. I know.
I'm the lawyer, and I can't see it.
Also, what's the date on this document? Just in the middle of the...
God, fucking bravo, people. Holy shit.
Oh, God. All right.
I'm in physical pain now.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You want to take it from line 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's zoom back out so we can ask you about this. Okay, now let's go back up to the top tweet and go ahead and zoom in a little bit on that top tweet so everybody can see it. And what we have here is a person named Champagne Joshi. Joshi, maybe. And let me move my window so I can see that. He says, Fed front, how many times have you seen a group of masked men dressed exactly the same, handcuffed, where not one mask pulled off to reveal their identity? You see in the picture below, we have a bunch of masked individuals, and none of them have their masks removed. Do you see that, Mr. Musk?
Yes.
Okay. Now below, there's a community note that says their masks were removed in public and their names and faces from arrest records are here, and it has a link to a news story in spokesman.com. Now, below that is a tweet from you, and I am going to assume I'm correct when I make this assumption that when you made this tweet, the community note had not yet been applied to the tweet above your tweet.
That's correct.
Okay. And so after you tweeted, then community notes came along and corrected both you and the person who were tweeting in this case, correct?
Yes, which is exactly what community notes. Please let me finish my answer. This is exactly what community notes is intended to do, and I am the one who has pushed community notes heavily on this system. It was a tiny backorder thing called Birdwatch, and I said community notes seems to me to have the potential to be the best fact-checking system on the internet, and I insist that anyone be fact-checked, including myself. So there are no limits on who gets fact-checked, whether they are presidents of countries, whether they are advertisers. In fact, this has caused us to lose advertising revenue because advertisers have been community noted. I have been community noted, and the community notes code is all open source, and the data is open source. So any third party can confirm exactly how community notes works. So this is a very good example of community notes correcting something that is incorrect.
Now...
And this is an example of the system working well.
Now, you would agree with me that everybody who saw these tweets before the notes were added, each of those people may have been provided incorrect information.
Objection to form.
There would have been absent initial misimpression. However, community notes also goes, and any interaction with if you interact at all with the post that is community noted, you're subsequently informed that a community note was placed on that post, and you're notified about the community note.
You mean if I viewed the tweet, I'm given a notice?
If you have any interaction with the tweet.
What does an interaction mean?
A comment, like a bookmark, a favorite, any kind of interaction.
So if I saw these tweets before the community notes and I did not bookmark them or physically interact with them in some way, I'm not notified when they're corrected.
Not in that case, but we also post all community notes are publicly available. So and we have a helpful notes. So helpful notes have surfaced.
Huh?
But I'd have to go look for that, though, right?
Yes. If you care about the truth. You would need to go look about it, yeah.
That's an interesting point. If you care about the truth, you need to go look for the truth, right? You need to make an effort. Would you agree with that?
Not much of an effort.
Not much of an effort. I got you.
It is also the case that all the people that viewed this post, probably the vast majority of them, did in fact see the note.
How are you able to say that? What data are you relying on to say that?
The note is applied within a few hours, sometimes less than that.
How do you know that?
That is how the notes work.
Wait. You're saying that you're testifying that these notes appeared on these tweets within hours.
That is, sometimes less than that.
And sometimes a lot more, sometimes days, right?
Days? No, that's...
No? I'm wrong about that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Musk. You can take that down. Through your businesses, I presume you are familiar with the concept of due diligence.
Yes.
Okay. Before making a major decision in your businesses that could affect a lot of people, you practice due diligence as a matter of principle.
Objection to form.
In acquiring a company, what are you talking about here?
No. Not acquiring a company. No, I'm talking about before making a major decision in your businesses that could affect a lot of people. You practice due diligence as a matter of principle.
Due diligence is a legal term. I'm not sure I understand your question because you've conflated a legal term with something that is in the common vernacular.
Let's take out the legal term then. I think we can make it easier if we could just take out the legal term. Before making a major decision in your business that could affect a lot of people, you take care before making those decisions. You put a lot of care into your business decisions. Is that right?
I aspire to apply the amount of care. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day. One cannot do everything, so I'm only human. So I aspire to be diligent and accurate.
Okay.
To the best of my ability.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm lightheaded.
I just held my breath throughout that entire 11 through 14, and I was holding my breath when I said both okays because I was gonna laugh. And because I think you understand that when you make major decisions in your businesses, that could affect a lot of people, right?
Of course.
And it's important to be very careful in decisions that affect a lot of people.
Yes.
Okay. You understood in the summer of 2023 that anytime you say something on Twitter, a very large number of people will see it.
That number varies tremendously.
But it's always very large.
It depends on what your definition of very large is.
Would you agree with me that, say, over 500,000 people is a pretty big group of people?
Yes.
And pretty much anytime you press tweet, it's going to be more than 500,000 people.
Mark, you're interrupting him.
No, that's not true.
Mark, you're interrupting him at the end of his answers again, so please don't do it.
So you think there may have been times where you tweeted and 500,000 people, there weren't 500,000 views on that.
You can look at my feed and see that is obviously true.
Okay, but you would agree with me that the vast majority of the time your tweets are going to be seen by more than 500,000 people.
Only if it's a primary. If I do a primary post, meaning not a reply, then certainly more than 500,000 people will see it.
A lot.
But as a reply, sometimes it may be 10 or 20,000. And that doesn't necessarily mean that people read it. It just means it was sent to their device or computer.
All right, let's put it this way. You know that every time you press tweet, there is a reasonable possibility that a very large number of people could see it.
Yes.
And you understood in the summer of 2023 that as a general concept, false information can be damaging to people and their lives.
There is, it is certainly, it is possible for false information to be damaging to people and their lives, yes.
So you also knew in the summer of 2023 that any time you tweeted and that tweet contained false information about a specific individual, that there was the chance that the tweet could damage or harm them. You knew that.
If there's, I do my best to be as accurate and truthful as possible and to seek community notes or other fact-checking when publishing something. It is also true that that newspapers print things that are false or misleading, or that they fail to print things that are, in fact, true.
Definitely. That's a big part of my business. Absolutely. You're right 1,000%. And I think you would agree that newspapers often don't meet their responsibilities, do they? They're not as diligent as they could be, are they?
Newspapers, I think, have a fundamental flaw relative to a system like the X platform, where there's not an easy way for people to rebut a statement, where there's... it's extremely easy to rebut any statement, even in the absence of community notes, simply by replying.
Sure. Let's go back to my foundation here that I want to ask you about, which is that in June 2023, you knew that if you press tweet on a tweet and it contained false information about a specific individual, that it was very likely a reasonable possibility that a lot of people would see it, and therefore there would be harm done to the person with false information. You knew that was a risk anytime you press tweet, correct?
There's some risk that what I say is incorrect, but one has to balance that against having a chilling effect on free speech in general, which would undermine the entire foundation of our democracy.
Got you. So.
And if I were to take issue with you, Mr. Bankston, that would be my concern about you.
Okay, I know you do. I know we have very opposite concerns that are very much in each other's face, and I understand. What I want to know is, did you think in your state of mind on June 27th, 2023, that it was allowable, it was okay for you to take a risk with false information because the alternative means restraining yourself and doing damage to the concept of free speech? Is that what you thought?
I believe it's important to try to find the truth of things.
I do too.
And sometimes when in questioning things, I'm simply trying to find what is true at any given point in time.
Do you think you owed it to Ben Brody to be accurate as you could?
Objection.
I aspire to be accurate no matter who the person is.
Do you think you lived up to that duty to Ben Brody, or do you think you failed him?
I don't think I don't think that I don't think he has been meaningfully harmed by this.
Wow. Okay. Let's put up tab L. Hold on. Actually, take that down for a second. Why don't you think Ben Brody has been meaningfully harmed by this?
Yeah, the harm to Ben Brody, how is that relevant to...
No.
Yeah, how is that relevant to this case?
How is the subject of this case relevant to the subject of this case?
Yeah, how's the harm to the subject of this case? The person who's suing us? I'm not sure that's relevant.
This is a real
I
guy.
love how Ed Bankson just interrupts with no.
Yeah.
No.
Bless this man.
Bless this man.
No, honey, no.
All right.
Yeah, the harm to Ben Brody, how is that relevant to...
No. He might have some really malicious ideas coming out from him right now about this. I need to know what his feelings about Ben Brody are. Why do you think Ben Brody...
What is your... Which category is this under, and how is this relevant?
His state of mind. Does he have ill will towards Ben Brody?
You can answer that. Do you have any ill will towards Ben Brody? You can answer that question.
Well, then I want him to answer my question.
I have no ill will to Ben Brody. I don't know Ben Brody.
Okay.
And I have no ill will to him. I do seek to, my goal is simply to have the X platform be the best source of truth on the internet. And when you try to figure out the truth of things, there's a debate. That debate, goes one way or the other, but it is a vigorous debate. There are a number of replies to, you make a statement, people will reply and reply immediately. This is the advantage, fundamental advantage relative to the legacy newspapers, where you can say whatever you want, but and people can immediately rebut that, and then community notes can attach a correction to your original post. I think this is what enables the X platform to have the potential to be, and I think is the most accurate, timely, and truthful place on the internet.
Oh.
I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute.
Yeah.
I need an antacid.
Yeah.
Tell me why you said you don't think Ben Brody was harmed.
No. Why? Whether he was ultimately harmed or not, or what his damages are and things like that, is not relevant. He's not going to get into that. You can move on. I'm instructing him not to answer.
Okay. So again, I want to know, Mr. Musk seems to have personal feelings about Ben Brody and whether he's been harmed or not, and in fact seems to have the affirmative belief that he has not been meaningfully harmed, which tells me that Mr. Musk may know something more about Ben Brody than I think he does, because I don't think he knows anything about Ben Brody. And so I want to ask him, why do you not think he has been meaningfully harmed?
Yeah, again...
If he possesses that information, I'm definitely entitled to know.
Okay, well, I definitely think you're wrong, and you're trying to backdoor everything, and you know that, and so you can move on.
Okay, you're not going to answer that, Mr. Musk? Are you going to...
He's not answering that. He's not...
I didn't ask you anything.
You know that he doesn't know anything about Ben Brody, and he already told you he doesn't think he's been harmed.
I don't know that. Wait, hold on.
You teased him. You just said it into the record. You teased out the fact that he doesn't have any ill will towards him. That's that.
No, I'm at an impasse because I have two contradictory answers. I have Mr. Musk saying he doesn't know anything about Ben Brody, and I have Mr. Musk testifying under oath that Ben Brody was not meaningfully harmed. Those two things don't go together. So I've got to figure out.
We disagree, but if Mr. Musk wants to explain why they're not consistent, if you genuinely don't understand that, he can explain why those aren't inconsistent. I think this is nonsense, and you know it, but that's fine.
People are attacked all the time in the media, online media, social media, but it is rare that that actually has a meaningful negative impact on their life.
Okay, let's go to tab L. I want to show you another tweet that you tweeted on June 27th, all right? Just after you tweeted about Ben Brody. And this tweet has somebody who is named... Hold on. This is a tweet from somebody named Ava Fox Cloudus Narrows Legion that says, a quote from Dale Carnegie, 99 times out of 100, people don't criticize themselves for anything, no matter how wrong it might be, maybe. And then you replied, always err on the side of internalizing responsibility. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. Would you consider that you were being truthful here in terms of that being something you believe? Is that right?
Yes, I think one should err on the side of internalizing responsibility.
All right. So to bring it back to Ben Brody, do you think that maybe you acted recklessly and should acknowledge responsibility for that?
Are you referring to... which post are you referring to?
To the post you made about Ben Brody. When you said, based off of Dr. Frenzer and Matt Wallace, when you said it looks like one of the college students who wants to join the government, do you think you have any sense of acting recklessly or need to take responsibility for that?
Objection. He already answered this question. You can't backdoor it through some unrelated tweet when the judge told you which tweets were at issue.
Wait, where does the...
I don't understand why you're doing this. You're just wasting everybody's time.
I'm sorry, where is this? If you have it, please send it to me. Do you have a list of the tweets that I'm allowed to talk about?
Yes, it's in the order. The order said that it refers to tweets on a certain day and a certain time. It's not if the order...
Mr. Spiro, your internet is cutting in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, the order does refer to certain tweets within a time frame relating to... This is in topic 2, so the way I read the order and the spirit of this was not for you to have a free-for-all into every tweet Mr. Musk made or saw. Your case is based on one tweet where he says, looks like.
Right. So here I am, asking about another tweet on the same day about Mr. Musk's state of mind on that very day. And your state of mind, Mr. Musk, on that very day, was that a person should always err on the side of internalizing responsibility. That was your state of mind on June 27th, 2023.
That is a general principle that I believe in.
All right. Mr. Musk, I don't have anything more for you today.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Spiro, I need to have you say on the record whether you want a copy of the transcript.
Yes, and please mark it confidential.
I'm sorry, what? There's no PO in this case.
We're asking for it to be deemed marked confidential until we address...
Under what authority? No, there's no PO.
Well, that's what I'm asking for. You want to release it.
Then you need to move for a PO. I don't know.
Okay. Then we will move for a PO.
Right. Over discovery that's already happened.
Yeah, okay.
I'm absolutely positive there's not...
I'm asking... Mark, don't interrupt me, okay? Mark, don't interrupt me.
All right.
I'm asking that this transcript be marked as confidential. That's what I'm asking for, okay?
I don't agree.
Mr. Spiro.
Yeah, he jumped off the record, but we're not off the record yet.
I need to find out if Mr. Musk wanted to read and sign his transcript.
Well, we're not going to find that out either because he just left. I do need to make a record on what just happened for the court. Parties must obviously move for a protective order over discovery before it occurs. I am in no way bound to treat anything confidential. There is no confidential order in place. There is a method in which to do that. Attorneys from Quinn Emanuel should know very well how to do that. In fact, even Alex Jones's attorneys knew how to do that.
Even Alex Jones's attorneys, who accidentally gave them records of literally fucking everything.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Those are the ones. Apart from that, there's not a single trade secret or anything confidential ever mentioned anywhere throughout this deposition. I'm very concerned that Mr. Spiro, a non-Texas lawyer who came to this deposition to practice law in violation of Texas law with no pro-hack admission, completely shut down many segments of the deposition, issued several instructions not to answer that were wholly inappropriate, completely interrupted, and made objections outside of Rule 199.5. And then, at the end of the deposition, demands that it be treated confidential. Mr. Spiro is clearly not following any of the procedures that would need to happen here. Given what he said, we will not discuss what happened here in this deposition with third parties until we talk to the court about it, obviously. But we will make sure, for the record, we do not see any method on which to designate things as confidential, so we don't recognize that request as anything valid. If they want to pursue a Rule 76 at a future time. If they want to pursue a Rule 76 at a future time, I mean, I guess they're welcome to try to do that. But again, just to state for the record, we are not under protective order. We have no obligation to abide by any confidentiality, and we reject wholeheartedly Mr. Spiro's unilateral attempts to place us under some sort of legal obligation. We do not recognize it whatsoever. And with that, we conclude the deposition today.
This concludes the deposition at 3:19 p.m.
Yay!
Yay! We
Got
did.
through it!
Oh my god.
Y'all.
Thank you all. This has been...
Frankly, a
It's
nightmare.
Yeah.
Frankly, it's been terrible.
I could not make...
The Deposition is made by Hug House Productions. You can find our work at hughouse.productions. Our showrunner, director, and editor is Will Williams, who also plays the court reporter and also is me. Bankston is played by Elena Fernandez-Collins. Spiro is played by Anne Baird. Elon Musk is played by Josh Rubino. The videographer is played by Cian Josephs. Mr. Grant is played by Zach Orsulak. Music by Blue Dot Sessions. Justice for Ben Brody. Please don't sue us.